Hey, everybody. Hope you are doing well. All right. It's time we go visit Gov't Mule's tribute to their late bass player, Mr. Alan Woody. And with this visit, we're going to do a song off of The Deep End Volume 2, which is the second of the tribute albums that they put out in honor of their late bass player, Mr. Alan Woody. So basically, when Woody passed away, the band, Warren Haynes and Matt Apps were contemplating what they were going to do. Were they going to continue on? Were they going to disband? What were they going to do? They decided to continue on. Of course, they decided to continue on and never perform again as a trio, as the original band formation was. Brought in keyboard player Danny Lewis. And then for these recordings, they basically went through a group of bass playing legends to sort of fill the shoes of Alan Woody. And so they brought in bass players like Alphonso Johnson and Jack Bruce and John Entwistle and Roger Glover and Victor Wooten and Flea and just a bunch of others. This particular song, Greasy Granny's Gravy, is one of the two songs, part one and part two, but this is part one, which feature Les Claypool on both bass and vocals. And, the entire project took, I want to say, 2 or 3 years total. They recorded both albums. They were originally just going to record one album, but they had so many guest bass players who wanted to participate that they basically ended up doing 2 albums with it. And it's really, both albums were double albums because they both had a bonus disc on them with like 4 or 5 more tracks. Also in the process of doing this, they toured in support of it. And when they were touring in support of it, they had a number of guest bass players on stage with them each night. I remember seeing them at the House of Blues here in Hollywood. And they had Jack Cassidy, Alphonso Johnson, and Dave Schools from Widespread Panic playing with them that particular night. But they basically had a rotating crew of bass players that played with them for a couple of years on this tour. Then they culminated the whole tour with a show that they did at a jazz festival in, I believe, New Orleans. And the live show that they did that night was somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 to 6 hours long. And they had, 20-something different guest bass players come up. And Les Claypool came up and performed part one and part two of this song with them on that particular show. It's kind of a fun live performance to watch. Well, that said, let's check out the studio version with Les Claypool playing Greasy Granny's Gravy. And pay particular attention to the use of an envelope filter by Warren on the guitar parts. Okay, here we go.
The sun don't shine near the Iron River past the old church line. Lives a hot gal, smells a stale wine. We call her Greasy Granny. She's a hopped up, popped up NorCal witch. She's a slapped down, cranked out, 2-ball bitch. She's stonewashed denim if she's wearing a stitch. We love our Greasy Granny.
Get your Gopher gravy from Greasy Granny. Separate your mind from your body.
And that's just part one. You can go up and look up part two yourself if you want to. Yeah. Yeah. Now, Alan Woody loved Les Claypool. He loved all the bass players that played on the tribute albums. And so that's not sitting there saying that Alan Woody played like Les Claypool on any Government Mule track or any Allman Brothers track, but he loved and respected Les Claypool's talents. And so it's probably the only song that Government Mule has ever done that has bass playing quite like that, because, Les is a very original bass player. And he has his own technique. He has his own sort of flair for things, his own sort of comedic way of playing. And it's just a fun song. It really is just a fun song. With that said, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. We can talk about it further should you choose. Know that I really do appreciate you, and I wish you all well. Okay? Take care.